Welcome to this explainer. Okay, so picture this. You're an aspiring entrepreneur, a freelancer, or maybe a startup founder with a brilliant idea. You are ready to build something amazing right here in Detroit, Michigan. You're in exactly the right place. Today, we're diving deep into a comprehensive step-by-step blueprint for establishing a fully compliant business in the Great Lakes state. Let's get right into it.
Now, we've all been there, right? You've got this incredible business idea. You've got the drive, the passion, maybe even your very first customer lined up and ready to go. But then, boom, you freeze. Why? Because taking that next official step means staring down a terrifying mountain of state filings, county rules, city permits, and tax registrations. It just feels overwhelming, right? You start stressing over legal complexities and hidden fees. It's a totally relatable paralysis that stops so many amazing founders dead in their tracks. But hey, take a deep breath. We are going to clear all of that up for you today.
So here's our entrepreneur's roadmap. We'll kick things off with why you should start in Detroit, look at choosing your business structure, and walk through state registration with Laura. Then we'll narrow it down to Wayne County and city rules, get your taxes, banking, and employees set up, and wrap up with staying compliant and your next steps.
All right, Section 1, why start in Detroit? It really is a hub of innovation and support.
The biggest thing to remember is that you are not building in a vacuum. Detroit is going through this massive economic revitalization, and there is a seriously robust ecosystem designed specifically to help you win. I mean, just look at TechTown. They offer incredible retail boot camps and tech incubators. Or how about Prosperous Detroit? They provide a comprehensive 12-week entrepreneurship training program for just $75. That is literally less than a nice dinner out. You've also got Motor City Match handing out tangible grants, and the Detroit Community Wealth Fund offering non-extractive, character-based loans with zero personal guarantees required. The support network here is just absolutely phenomenal.
Moving on to Section 2, choosing your business structure, the actual foundation of your enterprise.
Okay, the entity type you choose is absolutely crucial because it carries long-term legal and tax implications. Let's break it down. First up, a sole proprietorship. It's definitely the easiest to start if you're just testing out ideas, but you carry all the personal risk. If the business gets sued, your personal assets, like your house or your car, are on the line. Then we have the LLC, or limited liability company. This is wildly popular for a reason. It limits your personal liability, but still gives you pass-through taxation. That basically means the business itself isn't taxed. Profits just pass straight through to your personal tax return. Super flexible. Finally, the C Corp. Yes, it comes with the dreaded double taxation, but if your end game is attracting venture capital and outside investors, a C Corp is generally the gold standard you'll need.
Which brings us to Section 3, state registration and Laura, making it official in Michigan. Now listen closely to this part, because before you even think about signing a lease in Detroit or applying for a local permit, you've got to formalize your business at the state level first. Here is the exact step-by-step filing process with the Michigan Department of Licensing and Regulatory Affairs. Most people just call it Laura. Step 1. Do a name search. You need to make sure your business name is totally unique in Michigan. And remember, it actually has to include your entity type right in the name, like LLC or Inc. Step 2 is absolutely critical. You must appoint a resident agent. This is a person or a service with a physical street address in Michigan. No P.O. boxes allowed here, and they have to be available during standard 9 to 5 business hours to accept legal documents. Finally, Step 3, you file your articles of organization if you're an LLC or articles of incorporation for a corporation.
So, what's it going to cost to file those articles? Just $50. Yeah, really, that is the surprisingly affordable base filing fee in Michigan. Now, standard processing does take a bit of time. If you're an incredibly impatient founder and need it yesterday, Laura does let you pay up to $1,000 for 1-hour expedited processing. But honestly, for most of us, that baseline $50 is all it takes to get the ball rolling. All right, Section 4, Wayne County and city rules. We're narrowing down the regulatory funnel here. If you're planning on doing business under a name other than your official legal name, you are going to need a DBA, or doing business as. In Wayne County, they actually call this an assumed name. And guys, here is a massive compliance warning. Wayne County is incredibly strict about this process. It is completely mail-in. You have to submit your notarized application along with a $16 money order or certified check. Do not, I repeat, do not send a personal check, or they will send the whole thing right back to you. Getting this right protects your trade name in the county for 5 solid years.
Next up on the checklist is the City of Detroit Treasury Clearance. Let me be perfectly, absolutely clear about this. The City of Detroit will not issue you any business licenses, occupancy permits, or city contracts if you owe them even a dime. The clearance unit is going to check everything: outstanding income taxes, property taxes, even unpaid fire inspection fees. You must have a squeaky clean slate with the city to operate. Now, for those of you planning to launch right from your living room, you need to know that Detroit has some pretty strict zoning laws for home-based businesses, which they call home occupations. Here are the ground rules. You can't have employees working on site if they don't actually live there. You can't have clients visiting if you're in standard R1 to R3 residential zones. You absolutely cannot put up exterior commercial signage, no giant neon signs on your porch, and certain businesses like auto repair or running a full commercial kitchen are strictly prohibited in homes, although there is a small exception for cottage food businesses bringing in under $25,000. Knowing all of this upfront prevents you from making a really costly business-ending location mistake right out of the gate. This is super interesting. Notice how everything we've talked about connects. Getting your building or occupancy permit from BC80, that's the Buildings, Safety, Engineering, and Environmental Department, is directly linked to having those Wayne County assumed name requirements handled. It perfectly illustrates this multi-jurisdictional dance you have to do to get your doors open. It's a true coordination effort between the state, the county, and the city. Moving right along into Section 5, Taxes, Banking, and Employees. Time to look at the financial setup.
Okay, so once your legal entity is formed and you've got your local permits, we've got to build out your financial plumbing. Here are the absolutely critical steps. First, get an EIN, an employer identification number directly from the IRS. It's totally free, and you can think of it basically as a social security number for your business. Second, take that EIN and your articles of organization down to a bank to open a dedicated business bank account. I literally cannot stress this enough. Never, ever mix your personal and business finances. Doing that can completely destroy your limited liability protection. Third, register with the Michigan Department of Treasury for things like sales tax. And fourth, if you're planning to hire a team, you must secure an employer unemployment insurance account.
Once you're fully set up, you get to tap into something really amazing: the Detroit Business Opportunity Program, or DBOP. Securing these municipal certifications gives you a massive competitive edge, especially when it comes to city procurement and bidding on contracts. Whether you register as a Detroit-based business, a headquartered business, a small business, or a startup under 2 years old, getting on this registry gives you huge visibility, equalization credits, and access to some very exclusive networking. Long story short, it definitely pays to be certified in Detroit.
And finally, Section 6, Staying Compliant and Next Steps. We are playing the long game here.
Getting registered is an incredible milestone for sure, but remember, it's only day one. Ongoing compliance is the engine that keeps your business alive. Let's take a quick look at your annual compliance lifecycle. If you're running an LLC, every single year by February 15th, you have to file an annual statement with Laura and pay a $25 fee. If you're a corporation, your deadline is May 15th. Oh, and don't forget to renew that Wayne County assumed name every 5 years. Here's the scary part. If you miss a simple $25 state fee for 2 consecutive years, the state will administratively dissolve your business. Just like that, poof, your liability protection is totally gone. So seriously, put these dates on your calendar right now.
Before we wrap up, I do need to give you this essential reminder. Treat this explainer as your foundational roadmap, but remember that business laws, filing fees, tax regulations, and local zoning ordinances can and do change over time. You should always, always verify the most current requirements directly with Michigan Laura, the Wayne County Clerk, and the City of Detroit before making any permanent business, legal, or tax decisions. Let's close this out with a really powerful thought from Paula Anderanen over at Prosperous Detroit. She says, the entrepreneurship spirit and small businesses are the heart of communities, providing opportunities to build wealth for generations. Setting up a business in Detroit might seem like a whole lot of steps at first. State filings, county mail-ins, city clearances, but every single one of those steps is a critical building block towards your own financial independence and the revitalization of an absolutely incredible city. You've got the blueprint now. The only question left is, what are you going to build with it? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I'll catch you next time.